Hi guys, this is Bob, and I'll be talking to you today about the Writing1 final for fall 2020-2021, and this is the rubric that I'll be using to grade your assignment. So if you look in Canvas, on week 16 for the finals week, you'll find the rubric as well as the instructions that I posted before, so you can go ahead and click on it. There will be this video included after I've recorded it and uploaded, so I guess in the future, when you look at this, you will see all of that. Okay, so I'm just going to go over it quickly. I'm not going to go through all the details, but kind of go through the more important things. So there's different sections, and each section adds up to total points of 50, which will get adjusted to 60 to make the 60% through the power of math. So yeah, remember that your final assignment is worth 60% of your overall grade, that your assignments are worth 20%, and that your midterm was worth 20% as well. So my rubric just goes up to 50 points, which is fine, and it'll show you at the end what your adjusted score is. Okay, so let's talk about the rubric. So if we look at formatting, we can see that there's headings, all of that stuff, the formatting that I've asked you to do in practice for class, in the writing class, during like outline activities and things like that. So Times New Roman, double space, something I didn't mention before, but it should be obvious. Paragraphs are indented, so you're going to use the tab, or if you're on your mobile device, then just press space bar or space 5 times, and that should be enough. But remember, paragraph indentation helps me to see where the new paragraph begins. And remember, you can only have 4 paragraphs. You can only have 450 words. That's the minimum, to 650 words. Okay, so if you go over a little bit, totally fine. But if you go over a lot into the 700 words point part, I'm going to take off points. And if it goes further, I'll actually take off more points. Okay, so be careful with that. Make sure your punctuation is correct. A lot of students had issues in the beginning with punctuation, not having a space after the period. You have to have a space. So it's like the sentence, your punctuation, a space, and then the new sentence. Okay, so be careful of that. Otherwise, I will remove points. This assignment will be done on Google Docs. That's the preferred method. If you can't use Google Docs for some reason due to internet usage, either Microsoft Word is acceptable. And if it's a real big issue, let me know. I do not prefer to grade a handwritten paper unless you figure out how to do double spacing so I can write between the lines. If you can't do that, then it's hard for me to give feedback for you between, writing on your actual paper itself. And yeah, the major requirement is this can only be 4 paragraphs, right? So if you end up like combining 2 paragraphs into one to make the 4 paragraph thing, it actually will hurt you a lot. Okay, so the biggest thing about, I think, my class and this assignment is that the less less is more. Okay, that's all I'm gonna always say to you. Less is more. So if you can say something in a concise, effective way, that's better than being super wordy, using big words, long sentences. That isn't always the way to write an effective essay, okay, especially for this assignment, okay? So go over all the materials about logical division of ideas essays. If you haven't done your outline, you should do that soon as possible so I can give you feedback. Otherwise, it might take me a little bit of time to give you that feedback. So it behooves you, it benefits you to do your work early so that you can get your brain started. Okay, so you can go through, look at the information that you need for your introduction. Does it have the background knowledge? Does it discuss the topic? Is it clearly written without major mistakes? The thesis statement. Okay, so the thesis statement is going to be worth 3 points in this case, and I want to make sure that you have it clearly written. The 2 subtopics that you're going to be talking about, right? So your topic could be something like the effects of fast food on the human body. And then your two subtopics would be mental or physical, something like that. Okay, that's somebody's example from the class. And grammar and word choice. Word choice meaning that did you choose the right words? And I try not to get too heavy into the grammatical aspects, the grammatical aspects of your writing, because most of you do an okay job. It's just when you have that one issue, a few issues that become a pattern that I'll take off a point. And those points add up, right? So the biggest thing that I'm concerned about in this class is the organization of your writing. And if you're able to, include all the parts that you need. There's going to be two paragraphs. The first paragraph will be about your subtopic, your first subtopic. And then once again, I'm focusing on topic sentence. Is it clearly written? Is it neither too general nor too specific? So kind of right there. And I see that in the outline activity, if you wrote a topic sentence, most of you guys are starting to get the idea of a topic sentence. And I think it helps when you have a thesis statement to help you guide you in your writing of your topic sentence. Supporting ideas, you need to have a quote or a statistic of some sort. You have to have something that also has an in-text citation from your source, right? So a quotation that you use, whether it's a direct quote with the quotation marks or something that you summarize or paraphrase, you still need to include the citation when you get the statistic, that information that, I assume you got from somewhere, because, if it's like a number or something, then you need to include it. Even if you rewrote it yourself, that idea came from the source that you were referencing. Okay. And yeah, kind of subjective, but does the supporting sentences, do they prove your topic? And that kind of means, did you write enough? Is your thing, are your sentences focused? Do they just kind of, in a circular way, just keep explaining the same point, or do they actually move your argument forward? Okay. Again, concluding sentence needs to be there. And one, don't ever end in my class on a quotation, right? So don't end with a quote from the video. You want to make a concluding sentence that helps you either rephrase the topic sentence, summarize your paragraph, or transitions to the next paragraph, right? Both is probably the best thing you can do. Unity, also, once again, important. So did you focus on that one idea that you talked about in your topic sentence, or did you kind of start to stray off and add some other things that you wanted to do? You don't have to cover everything in this essay. That's the point of it. It's just it's in a way a lot more specific than the video that you watched, right? The video you watched has a lot of broad information about one topic. But what I want you to do and focus on in this writing is to just kind of laser point and say that these points are the most important that you've come up with. Okay, and once again, grammar, word choice are being evaluated 1 point each. Paragraph 2, the rubric, the guidelines are the same, so that'll be your second paragraph. And then the conclusion and reference. Okay, so in your conclusion, you're going to restate your thesis statement. You're going to summarize the content of your essay in shorter words. Just mentioning them sometimes is enough to call it a summary. And remember that your reader isn't somebody who's paying attention all the time, that they need a little bit of help. Think about them as your classmates, academics, but at the same time, like not people who are, well knowledge on all of these topics, right? So focus on that. I didn't mention previously, but keep your writing academic. So stay away from first person pronouns, second person pronouns as well. Kind of focus on writing in the third person, which means you use things like people, society at large. Your audience should be just kind of anybody out there, but not specific, right? You kind of has like a very self-help / kind of commanding tone sometimes. you should do this, right? That's what we read when we're reading a self-help thing. And this is more about informing people, okay? You're not trying to change anybody's minds, and except through, hey, giving them information so that they can come up with their own decisions, okay? So your essay is informative, and it's giving information on two subtopics about a topic. This is the logical division of ideas. What else? So it should summarize the content of your essay, and then at the end, it should contain an effective suggestion, prediction, result, or call to action. So asking people to do something. Let's say you're talking about plastic. Maybe at the end, if you didn't talk about recycling, that's where you kind of throw in, if we can recycle, then we can stop this problem. Boom. That's how you would end. A lot of times conclusions are ended using some kind of call to action or prediction. Like if we don't do this, the world will become uninhabitable or something like that. Okay. And the last three things are your references. So it should contain a reference from your video that you used, and then one outside source at least. Okay. And I would say 2 outside sources are probably the most that you should have. And if you have more, then, make sure that they're specific and that they were necessary in your argument. But yeah, I don't, I'll go back to this later, but I don't want to see a paragraph that's just all quotations, like 3 or 4 quotations, and maybe like 1 sentence that's your own words. Okay, don't do that. And then the last thing is that you need to use that APA format from Scribber. And let me explain the Netflix thing. I guess I gotta find information about that to let you know how to do that, and I'll probably post something so it's easier to find. But for the Netflix episodes, just put the episode's name, the year, Netflix, and then the link. I think that's as simple as I want that to be. So the total points for my rubric is 50. It'll be adjusted to 60% using the power of math and percentages, and that percentage will be used for your overall grade. That's how I submit the grades, based on the percentage for your final. Okay. And I think that's it about this. I might want to just show you, if you haven't started and you're still kind of brainstorming ideas, different ways that other students have done this. So I'm not going to mention anybody by name, but this is using Miro. Somebody made a mind map, and maybe this is the way that you should make them, that they're kind of a tree. This is kind of like a fallen down tree, but kind of a tree diagram where you can kind of see the ideas start to expand, right? And even if you don't make those your topics, like improve the country with weapons, okay, so maybe you can go deeper into what weapons are, drones versus, I don't know, attacking robots or something, and then from drones, like even more information, right? So by using something like this, you can kind of go further down into your information, and you can write an essay about it. You would have to be very, very specific. It would be very, very laser pointed approach to writing, but the further up you go, or to the left in this case, the more general it becomes, right? The more further to the right, as the tree kind of starts to grow, are all the details, and to the left are kind of more general. So choosing a topic kind of when the first or second tier of kind of this structure would give you enough to kind of talk about it generally without having to do tons of research. And then somebody else did something about feminism, and we kind of worked the ideas. They were just kind of scattered all into one bubble, and then using kind of this technique, you can start to move around. You can start to put things into different topics. So things that you see as benefits, you can throw it into the benefits bubble. Things that you see kind of like the negatives, the things before the feminist movement, you can start to put over here. And then by looking at this, you're able to determine, hey, maybe the benefits is the best thing that I can write about, because there's at least 3 things to talk about. You can only talk about 2 of those things, right? But it gives you the ideas to get started. And what I like about this is instead of writing and kind of feeling like you wrote your essay and then having to go back and change things, this technique gives you the ability to kind of move things around and delete things, right? That's what the outline is for too. So if you wrote your introduction for your outline, great. That's going to help you to kind of build your ideas. And if you wrote your introduction, that's wonderful, right? But within that body part, like how much can you write? What kind of information can you gather? Some students have used it to kind of put their quotes in there, which is good. And other students have kind of used it to really make, the skeleton of their essay, and so that, they can start to fill in the pieces. The thing I like about the outline also is that if you don't like this idea, scrap it, start over, and you don't feel like you've wasted too much. You haven't invested your energy into this writing process where you're focused deeply on, subjects, verbs, and all the tenses and all the things that have to do with writing. In the outline you can make mistakes. In the outline you can delete and you can reorder easily without having to like invest so much of your hard-earned work into it. Okay. Let's just do one last thing. I'll just look up Netflix APA citation. I think there's one. Let's see. I think I was just using. No, I wasn't using that. I should pause it. Let's see what EasyBib says. Okay, so this is what I kind of like. So if you're doing a specific episode from Netflix, so use this. So the episode's name in quotation marks. So if it's an explained episode, so the world's water crisis in quotations, not parentheses. The series' name, The Office. You can put the season, the episode if you'd like. You don't have to. And then the last thing that you need to do is just put Netflix and then the link to that episode. And I don't know why it's really hard to find the link sometimes in the. It's really hard to find the links sometimes in a browser. So the date, I guess, would be the date that it was made, but or aired. But don't worry about that. The thing I want you to have mainly is the name of the episode. And that's what you're going to be using in the in-text citation. So not like explained. You'll just put, the name of that episode and then the date. So I guess you got to find the date. Look it up on IMDb or something. And if this is like too much work, well, this is called research. So if I look at explained, it's a 2018 series. That's when it was first aired. You can see the different episodes. And yeah, you should have the dates right there. So IMDb, you can use this bibliography. But IMDb will give you the date that it was aired or released, right? Netflix releases everything at once so you guys can binge watch. All right. So that's the video. This is the rubric. I hope everything is clear. I tried to make everything as clear as possible because these assignments get a little complicated, right? So look through the rubric as you're writing or after you write, right? Write your first draft, look at the rubric and see if you covered everything. I'm giving you all the tools that you need in order to get 100% in this class, okay? And if you can follow these things, then great. One means you can follow directions, and then two, that your writing ability kind of matches what I'm looking for in this class, okay? And yeah, my first advice, my most important advice is, if you are like way up here, you're going to do not so well. If you're down here, you're not going to do so well. So kind of stay in the middle. 650 words, really not that much. Yeah, and good luck. And yeah, I guess this would be my last message to you. And let me just pause real quick. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for a wonderful class this semester. We've done a lot in this class. I think I've pushed you guys beyond your boundaries, especially in the writing class and the Zoom classes. So I'm pushing you in this class, and you guys have responded really well. I don't know if you've done research like this before, but I think compared to last semester, last year, you guys have been able to do the task a lot better, and probably I've learned some lessons along the way, and been able to kind of give you more guidance. So I hope that you take something from this class, and that you learn something, and that you apply one of these techniques, these ways of writing. Even the creative stuff. I wish we had more time for journals, but just kind of the trajectory of the course prevented me from doing more of those journal writings, and trying to kind of limit the number of assignments. But your writing has been amazing. I wish that I had done some more journals so that I could get to know you all better. But yeah, it is what it is, and I think we've had a great, successful semester. And I hope you feel the same way. And good luck with your finals. Good luck with writing this essay. And I hope that you have a safe and restful break after all this is done. Thank you so much. Bye.